In this video, I have a very interesting review of the high-end product of the electric mini bike pump market, the Silca Elettrico Ultimate. And I'm going to answer the question, is it worth your $160 hard-earned dollars, or are you just paying for the brand and that beautiful finish? What's up, everybody? FC here from E-MTB Review, and this electric mini bike pump market is heating up. Everyone's getting into it because they are incredible. I'm gonna tell you that you need one in your household if you are a cyclist, because they make life so much better, and I'll have other videos on this. But we have $40 options, we have expensive options, and you're probably wondering, I deserve some nice shiny bits, some nice shiny toys. I should probably get the Silca because it's a great brand if you've used their other products. And what they have here is the second, the more expensive of their two models. This one is the Ultimate, and they also have a Mini. Mini is 130, this one's 159 or 160. And they worked a lot with the first name in mini electric pumps, Cycplus. And here is the basis for their pump, the Ultimate. But what they did is they said, okay, everything that can be improved, we're going to improve, and you guys get to do it for us. And so they worked together closely. What they did was they improved the case. This thing takes a lot of beating, takes a lot of heat, so definitely much more handsome, but functional as well. A lot of heat sinking. And they put bearings, ball bearings all throughout instead of bushings. And they put in a bigger motor. They put in a 600 milliamp hour battery, 11 volts, so a lot of power. And then they said, we're going to give it some serviceability. You can replace parts, batteries, and whatnot when they wear out. And they also gave it some other cool features, like it recalibrates its gauge every time you turn it on. So whether you're in high altitude or sea level, it's going to give you the right pressure every time. So E-MTB review. I saw so many videos on this thing. They told me nothing, basically, that it works. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to give you 3 or 4 tests. Measure it. I have sound meters, I have heat guns, I have a stopwatch, and we're going to see how fast this works, how quiet, and how many times can it pump up your tire. What's it good for? I'm also going to give you weaknesses of it. I found quite a few, and are they meaningful to you, or is this the perfect pump for you? All right. Okay, so first we'll go through the speed test. Right here is how you operate it. Very similar to the Cycplus. Plus, minus, nice big display, and only one gauge. Your battery is the 3 bars right there, and they'll turn it on, just simple press, and then boom. So what I'm gonna do first is I'm gonna give you the vibration test, and let's put it on a table. And why is that vibration important? Because it will loosen your valve if it vibrates a lot, and also you could feel it in your hand, and your gauge is kind of fluttering as you use it. Next thing I'll do is a sound level. One of the big problems of these things is they're kind of loud, but what is the sound really? So I put a sound meter to all these guys, 1 meter away, pointed directly at it. How loud is this? Because it does sound pretty loud. Next test is how fast is it to 100 psi on a road tire, and how hot does it get? Now we have the Silca. $37. $95, $7, $99, $100. That was quick. 91.2, so about 91. All right, next test is the torture test. How fast is it to inflate a 29er 2.5 tire to 24 psi? And almost as important is How many how many times can it do it? Huh? So here we go. Just give you a short demonstration, but I'm gonna do it until this battery dies. I'm going to 24. All right, it says 24 on the gauge. Now it says 20 and 21. So the back pressure is preventing it from getting the full. Gotta do it by hand. 24. And it says, okay, it says 24, but you have to turn it off. Okay. So that's attempt number 1 on the Silca. All right, attempt number 2. $24. And the gauge says 23. Attempt number 3. Attempt number 4. 22. Okay. $24. 24. 24. Aha! It says it's too hot. Too hot. Needs a break. All right, so let's go through pros and cons. Pros, it is a performer. This thing is a machine. So basically at the speed test, it would inflate this tire in about 34 seconds, 34 to 40 seconds. And it was very tight. The grouping was very tight, meaning it maintained its temperature, its battery level, and it was just delivering hit after hit right around the mid 30s mark. And that is very fast. The only thing faster in my lineup here is the Pampa. And look how much bigger the Pampa is. Okay? The other thing is, how many times did it do it? Basically, I was on attempt number 8, and it shut down because of heat. So it had a little more. It was slowing down, had a little more. So I think it's about 9, 8 and change is where this thing is going to inflate that size of a tire for you. So pretty darn good, right? The other thing is when it overheated, it was 134 degrees, and it shut itself off. It said too hot. So the fact that it has that, kind of self-protection is very good. And speaking of speed, we had that road tire. It had a time to 100 psi of 40 seconds. 40 seconds is mind-blowing because some of these pumps, they're pretty good. They're pretty good on a mountain bike tire, but when you get to a road bike tire, they're like, oh man, they start choking. Well over 2 minutes. So 40 seconds, amazing. Next test was the noise test, which is a pro as well, it sounded kind of loud, but when I put a sound meter to it, it was 82 decibels, 1 meter away. So that was pretty darn cool. It was very kind of on par with the much weaker pumps. It sounded loud because I think if you have it vibrating on the ground or rattling against something, it's going to sound loud. But and maybe the noise of it is kind of sharp. But at the end of the day, the sound is really on par with the others. Okay, another pro is it calibrates to 0 at startup. And we had a little bit of a problem that before, some of our Psych Plus said, oh, we're not calibrated right because we calibrated it at 2,000 feet in Shenzhen or somewhere in China. And I'm like, that doesn't make sense. So the fact that they do it wherever you live in Denver or here in Bay Area sea level, then it's going to set pretty good. Another effect of that was we had some valve clogging problems in our old pump before we cleaned it out, and when you turn it on, it would say 100 psi. So I didn't want to turn on anymore. So I assume that this recalibration is going to help that situation because it's going to zero it out every time. So that would be pretty cool, huh? Other pros are the quality. Man, this thing feels like a piece of like a watch, like a piece of jewelry. So very good. Quality is good. And the last part of it is a machine. It is a robust machine. Basically, you can replace your big mini pumps. You can replace your floor pump. I don't even use my compressor. I have a big compressor. I don't even use it because you have to charge that up, fill up the tank and whatnot. This thing, boom, boom. It can seat tubeless. Thing is that fast. You know, whenever you have a pump that can inflate at 29 or tire in 30 seconds, that's pretty much good for tubeless. So it can do a lot of things for you guys. You can probably top off your car tire as well. So I should try that, huh? What about weaknesses? This is E-MTBR. By the way, we just don't pander to the manufacturers and give you glowing reviews of everything because who does that help, right? So weaknesses. The first one is the price. $160. Like, damn. You know, you are kind of are outside the realm of the market. Most people want to spend 50 for these things. But if something lasts, you know, they're willing to go 100, maybe a little more. 160, smaller market there. They do have the $130 one, but it doesn't have a gauge. And man, it's hard for me to even consider a pump that doesn't have a gauge for $130. So 160, and it's the big size. Is the other weakness is it would be nice if the small one had a gauge as well. And a little lower price because not everyone needs this kind of horsepower. You know, how often do you get a flat? Not that much, right? And how often do you always need to top off, perfect your pressure, and you just need really a small pump for that. So it would be nice if there was a small pump option that had the gauge and all the features. Another weakness is it would shut off prematurely, kind of like the Psych Plus because the valve is in there embedded. It doesn't have what some of these pumps has, which is the ability to read pressure perfectly or accurately while it's pushing air. Seated perfectly. It's reading 17 on both the Silca and the Tire Whiz. Press it very firmly. And it says 24 and it stops, but it's actually 21 and now it says 21. So what's happening is and I'll show you in a second, is while it's on, it's reading higher than what the actual pressure is because of the back pressure of the valve. It was because, I thought it was because my valves are clogged with sealant or whatnot, but you know, this valve is perfectly clear and I had my other tool. And I did demonstrate it with another pump, the Trek, I think, which was shutting off perfectly. So this one was shutting off 3 psi prematurely. And what you do with that is you just, instead of 24 psi, you just set it to 27 because it's consistent behavior and you can just adjust for that. But that, I have to say that's a weakness. The other one is high vibration. High vibration, not a big deal, but you know, it's vibrating your hand, your little valve nut. It'll loosen it. Also the lead out or the readout, you can kind of see it kind of wavering around like that. So Silca Elettrico Ultimate, I'm happy to say $160. I think it's not for everybody, but I think for some people, the select few, it's going to be worth it. Just considering what these weaknesses are, the pros are a mile long, and it's a quality machine that you can rebuild, and it is a pleasure to use day in, day out, and you'll be the envy of friends, right? There's a little bit of cachet factor to having the nice stuff, and some of you guys deserve the nice stuff. Thanks a ton, everybody.